Today, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy had two meetings at the White House. The first with the president and then the second with the vice president. In the first meeting, President Biden said this.
I see two key pieces. First, right now we have to strengthen Ukraine's position on the battlefield. And that's why today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance. I've also directed the Pentagon to allocate all the remaining security assistance funding that has been appropriated for Ukraine, period, by the end of my term, which is January 20. And this will strengthen Ukraine's position in future negotiations. Second, we look ahead to help Ukraine succeed in the long term. As you know better than anyone, as we said at the Washington summit, we have to support Ukraine in its path to membership to both the EU and to NATO, and continue to make reforms to counter corruption and strengthen democracy, which you're working mightily on right now. We have to ensure Ukraine has sufficient capabilities, and I mean sufficient capabilities, to defend against future Russian aggression. So I'm proud of the steps we've taken in our partnership on these fronts. Let me be clear. Russia will not prevail in war. Russia will not prevail. Ukraine will prevail, and we'll continue to stand by you every step of the way. So thank you for being here, and the floor is yours.
Before her meeting with President Zelenskyy, Vice President Harris said this.
I've been proud to work alongside President Biden and the 50-nation coalition we have built up to allow Ukraine to defend itself. Thanks to this coalition and the skill and the bravery of the Ukrainian people, along with your courageous leadership, President Zelenskyy, Ukraine has stood up to Russia's aggression, and today, Kyiv stands free and strong. President Zelenskyy, I am clear. Putin started this war, and he could end it tomorrow if he simply withdrew his troops from Ukraine's sovereign territory. I share with you, Mr. President, there are some in my country who would instead force Ukraine to give up large parts of its sovereign territory, who would demand that Ukraine accept neutrality and would require Ukraine to forego security relationships with other nations. These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender, which is dangerous and unacceptable.
President Zelenskyy has also been meeting with some Republicans in Washington who remain supportive of Ukraine.
It's crucial for us to be fully understandable and to work in a full coordination with the United States. And this morning I talked also to the congressmen, both chambers, both parties, and I'm thankful for the bipartisan support. We believe this war can be won and just peace can be closer only with the United States. Madam Vice President, this is our, you said, seventh meeting?
Seventh.
And not last. We have to keep pressure on Russia to stop the war and to make truly lasting and just peace. It's a top priority for us and for other freedom-loving nations to achieve not a freezing, but real peace for us. So we need to keep sanctions against Russia strong, and we need to use the proceeds from immobilized Russian assets to protect Ukraine, our people, our cities, our front line from Russian evil. And of course, we must work hard to bring all Russian war criminals to justice.
President Zelenskyy is scheduled to meet with Donald Trump tomorrow. Today, Donald Trump said this.
I believe I will be able to make a deal between President Putin and President Zelenskyy quite quickly.
But what does that look like? What does that look like? What does that?
I don't want to tell you what that looks like.
Okay, two things. Imagine the news media reaction in America if Kamala Harris ever said, I don't want to tell you what it looks like, in response to any question about any of her plans. Think about that. And second, of course, What it looks like is exactly what the vice president just described as Donald Trump's position, which is a proposal for surrender. That is the Trump plan for Ukraine, if he makes it back into the White House. Everything Donald Trump has said about Ukraine indicates that he believes the solution is for Ukraine to simply surrender to Vladimir Putin. Today, the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which is led by Vice President Harris, proposed executive orders signed by the president today that combat emerging firearm threats like unserialized 3D printed guns and machine gun conversion devices and improve school-based active shooter drills.
Last year, after another school shooting, my predecessor said, like some members of Congress say, just, quote, just get over it. Yeah. I'm going to be very blunt. Secretary Vance of Ohio has called these shootings facts of life. Who the hell do these people think they are? I mean it.
Over the years, I've held the hands of far too many mothers and fathers to try and comfort them after their child was killed by gun violence. And let us all agree, it does not have to be this way. We know we have in our possession, we know how to stop these tragedies. And it is a false choice to suggest you are either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. I am in favor of the Second Amendment, and I believe we need to reinstate the assault weapons ban. And pass universal background checks, safe storage laws, and red flag laws.
If Vice President Harris becomes the first woman president, history will be made in more ways than one, including by her husband, Doug Emhoff, who will become the White House's first gentleman.